Just being honest and real here. If I don't pay my bills, I won't have internet. I might, I won't have anything. I have to work. Now, what's funny about all this is, all right, last night, someone actually sent me a very lengthy message. And the reason that I read that to you guys is because I want... And I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to try to, summarize it. All right? But basically, what this person said, they sent me a big email. And in summary, here's what they said. They said, you said something the other day that resonated with me. And I'd like to emphasize this. They said, you had mentioned that on some of your streams, recently in particular, when you do your podcast and you're just hanging out with your audience, that people tend to come by and engage and contribute. And sometimes you'll boot the game up after. And you say, man, the rest of the stream is dead. Like, people disengage, people don't support. This is, well, maybe that's a sign. Maybe this is a sign that times are changing. That the days of being a full-time gamer and sitting around playing games all day are in the past. That people just don't care as much about that anymore. There was a time when it didn't matter what game I played. People would come by and engage in support and love it. And now I think those days are past. This is how I play the game. That people would much rather have a social experience with me than just basically play any old game just to say there's a game on the screen. You know what I'm saying? So I guess the question is, right? Is that the case? I'm 41 years old. I'm going to be 42 in less than 2 months. Am I now reaching the time of my life where I'm older and the people who are coming by to my streams every day are coming by more to hang out with me than watch me play a game? Is that really the case? Maybe it is. Maybe that actually is what's going on now. And this is something that I've been saying for years was going to happen. I told you guys, listen, as I get older, all right, I know I'm not going to be able to play video games as much as I do now. I know I'm not going to be able to play at a high of a level. I can tell you right now, as I'm doing this with my hands, and I just do this little stretch exercise, all of the muscles in my right hand are incredibly tense right here, all in the joints, and have pain.
My head feels like it's swollen. I've got a big headache right up here, all throughout behind my right eye, into my ear, okay? All pressure, head pressure.
It's carpal tunnel. And it's because I've been playing video games full time for 15 years. And I'm doing this right now. I've got tons of pain shooting through my pinky right now, right here, as the muscle extends, just doing this exercise. Because the human body is not meant to sit around playing video games all day. You know what I mean? As I get older, these things are going to happen. And I know I'm not going to be able to keep doing these full time like I've been doing for how long now. And so I've been telling you guys that this is why over the last several years I've been trying to more diversify my content. At one point it was literally I sit here all day playing video games and that's the footage I put out. And then after a while I was like, I don't want to just play video games. Let's do some vlogging. Let's do some this. Let's do some that. And that's how the whole idea of a morning podcast came about. Let's diversify and do something different. Let's just hang out. Let's have conversation. Let's talk about news. Let's talk about current events. Let's talk about upcoming games. Let's talk about whatever you guys have on your mind. Let's do this every day. Correct? Shut the fuck up. No one cares about your fucking podcast. God damn it. And I'm happy to do that. I like doing that a ton. And a lot of you have come out and said, yeah, I literally only tune into your podcast these days. Unless there's a big game that I'm really interested in, I'm way more interested in you and your opinions and your discussion with us than I am about you just messing around with any old game, especially when it's games that I'm not too interested in. Yeah, and that's the difference. Back in the day, I was a big YouTuber, and anyone would always wanted to tune in no matter what I was playing. It was like an event to see Darkseidphil play a game. Today, it's not anymore. I'm a small-time guy. So a lot of people just pick and choose the games they want to watch, and me playing games full-time, half the time, it's kind of like I'm playing for myself. Right? Let's be honest here. Do I have an audience for certain games? Yes, I do. But it's not a giant audience like it used to be. So maybe this is a sign. If literally I turn on my stream and I hang out with you guys for 2 hours on a podcast, and everyone's engaged in having a good time and talking with me and supporting the podcast, and then I turn on a game and it's dead for the next 3 hours. No one, like literally no one is talking to me. Everyone's having their own conversations about bullshit. What are you talking about? Is that a sign? Now, by the way, that's not what happens every day. I'm just saying, this is something that people have been observing recently, is that, yeah, this is happening with certain games on and off. It's not every day, okay? And no, I have no plans to say, oh, I'm just going to quit playing games. No, absolutely not. I'm a gamer at heart. It's my lifelong hobby. Way before it was ever a job for me. I would never just give up gaming. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to become talk side Phil today, where all day all we do is talk about different topics. Hour 1, we do the podcast. Hour 2, it's politics hour. Hour 3, it's current events hour. Hour 4, it's drama and gossip hour. Hour 5, no, we're not doing that. Okay? The point I'm making is that as I get older, that's probably the direction we're going. You understand? And I know what this is going to be. It's going to be a slow transition, but I feel like I've got to prepare everyone for that transition. For those out there who've only known Darkside Phil as an online YouTube gamer for the last 15 years, you have to understand that we're definitely moving in this other direction now. Okay? People are tuning in just to hang out with me and hear my opinions, not to see me play a video game all the time. Not to say that, again, that doesn't exist. It does. And people are excited for certain games and things, but it's not every game all the time. Right? And when I find myself being faced with challenges and changes, you know, right now, no exaggeration, this month, I'm down over $1,000 of revenue and I haven't made any of it back. I was hoping maybe some people who had memberships and got a free one from this stupid membership exploit that these trolls are using would have said, all right, well, I normally would buy a membership for Phil from his channel to support him, and I got a free one, so I'm going to, do a super chat instead, or I'll tip instead. That hasn't happened, okay? It hasn't. And so because of that, I'm out of tons of revenue. And that's not my fault, and that's not your fault. That's YouTube's system being abused and YouTube being slow as shit to doing anything about it, as they always have been, okay? And then I boot up a game. Oh, let's play a game today, and the whole stream's dead. No one's paying attention. No one's talking. No support's coming in. This is a business I'm operating, okay? This is my livelihood.
It says on the address, Phil Burnell, DSP Gaming. Now, wait a minute. I have never had a registered business, meaning DSP Gaming, my YouTube channel, even though it's trademarked, I do trademark it, it's never been a registered business.
And as much as people who live in a fantasy world would like to say, oh, and Phil shouldn't eBay and Phil shouldn't bring any of this stuff up, that's because they live in a fucking fantasy world. They don't live in reality like us. They live in a place of rainbows, unicorns, sprinkles, pots of gold, dancing leprechauns, and shit that doesn't fucking exist. All right? In reality, I have to make a living doing this. Okay? And I'm not asking for any more than what you guys have always done for me. I'm saying that now I'm at a significant loss. All right? And I'm faced with the reality that it looks like more people are tuning in and enjoying the content I do when I'm just talking with you than when I'm playing games. Not in all cases. So I basically have to figure something out here. Like, what's the balance? What does this data tell me? Because again, this is my business. I have to analyze this data in a very smart manner and professional manner. If I'm seeing that when I am doing shows, like for example the podcast, or for example the new Retro React stream, where it's just me reacting to my old gameplay and laughing. We're all laughing together and I'm commentating at how bad that gameplay used to be. If that's doing better than me actually playing new games, there's obviously been a change, correct? And I'm trying to observe and acknowledge this change so that we can adapt for the better. I can't wait for the money. I want to put out content that you want and that you will show up and support, all right? I don't want to be playing games all day, every day, and people telling me that now I'm a dinosaur because I'm just playing games all day. right? I don't want this to be like it was 10 years ago when I wasn't doing direct capture. Well, at this point I was, but you know what I'm saying? Like the 2012, 2013 era. Didn't do direct capture, didn't do live streaming, was just doing the same thing every day, in and out, not innovating, not changing, not listening to feedback, and then falling way behind. Because the truth is, if in 2012 I had listened to all the feedback that I was getting, and I jumped on that movement, let's start live streaming, let's be interactive live streamers, let's change the content up, let's do direct capture, let's try new projects. If I had done that when I still had my popularity on YouTube, today things would be very different. I wouldn't have ended up being the whipping boy of the internet, right? This is how you don't play, making fun of me, Phil's the living meme that sucks at games and blah, blah, blah. None of that would happen. If I was smart enough back then to see the trends changing and roll with the suggestions you were giving me, I would have been in a much better position. But I didn't. I was obstinate and stubborn and stupid. And I acknowledge that today because it's a decade later and it's easy to look back and say, wow, I was so dumb. But back then I thought my shit didn't stink. I was like, oh, I'm the popular YouTuber, not you. I know better than you. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing because I like doing it. And I'm successful at doing it, so I'll just keep doing it and never change. And it didn't work. It ended up I had to change. And it was too little too late. And, you know, I fell behind the times. And I went from being Mr. Prominent on YouTube to the joke of YouTube.
I don't need to be Mr. Popular and be making $1 million and getting hundreds of thousands of views on every video I put on YouTube.
Right? It's literally what happened. So today, when I'm seeing these new trends, okay, and I'm hearing these things about what you guys are saying and everything, I realize I need to listen to feedback, I need to observe the patterns, and I need to change with the times. So what does that mean? I don't know yet. I don't know. Like right now, on this very podcast, I have 464 viewers. When I start playing Baldur's Gate, we're going to have 200 viewers. It really depends because it's funny. Again, it used to be any game that I played would get interest. Now, not at all. You know, like a dragon, it's very hard to retain interest. Even Tekken 8, which I've been telling you over the last week, I love Tekken 8. I think it's a great fighting game, and I'm actually doing really good at learning it at a fast pace and getting better. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's many that care. And that's sad, because I really like it. And I think that I have potential to get much better at fighting games in the future if I apply myself the way I am now with the whole studying aspect and applying. I mean, day one Yoshimitsu is ridiculous. Most people would look at that and be like, that's the first day he played that character? What? Seriously? Yeah. I never even touched him before. I didn't even know his moves until the night before when I watched videos. So doing that well, you know what I'm saying? Pretty cool, right? So let's talk about it. All right, let's figure it out. And by the way, don't let the white noise of the troll idiots who come in, you know, basically kill our intelligent discussion about this. Because I'm talking about people who are actually fans of me and my content, not people who come in, oh, your content sucks. Well, that's funny. That's hilarious. Ha, ha, ha. But that doesn't help. That's not constructive criticism, you fucking idiot. You know. Now, it's our job as intelligent people. I want to know what it is that people do like about me, because people do show up and do support at certain times. Why do you? What is it that you like that you want to see more of? This is what I want to hear. This is what I need to hear. All right? This is the constructive things I need. What is it that I should not be doing? Correct? What is it that I'm doing too much of that you don't like? Because maybe the days of me being the full-time gamer are done. Right? Maybe I do. Maybe I need to play way less games. And I need to start splitting my time between other projects and other efforts. I tried this last year with the React stuff, and you guys adamantly raged against that and said, no, you're doing too many reacts. You're doing full days of reacting to other YouTubers and their channels, documentaries and things like that. You're taking too much time away from the gaming. Don't do that. Do more gaming. So I went back. I literally went forward and went right back to the way it was, because this is what people said they wanted. I was trying to give you what you want based on your feedback. But now it seems like that's not working anymore, right? There's one final thing I will say. It's a running thing that I've been saying for many years. I'll say it again this morning, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, money talks. Money
What do I do?
talks. Yeah, I need to know what it is that you like the most, all right? And I want to know. I want to know what I need to do. And I know, here's the thing. I'm going to get a million suggestions, okay? I know I am, and that's okay. I need to weigh and balance your input now and try to figure out what's the best thing to do for the future, all right? And if that means that this year somehow I dramatically change and shift, if we need to, we could do that. After Pal World, and then seeing what's happened in the last couple of weeks on the streams, seeing what's going on sadly with my lost revenue because of trolls, and also seeing the fact that I'm getting feedback like, hey, times are a-changing. Do you not notice more people are hanging out for the podcast, and a lot of people are supporting the podcast, and when you start the games, it dries up. I'm like, damn, I guess I see your point.
What's the next financial crisis that's going to happen that's going to screw everything over? What's the next situation where your life might be threatened?